Dear brothers and sisters, today we celebrate the third Sunday of Lent. And coincidentally, this Sunday is the 8th of March when we celebrate the goodness of women in this world. We celebrate the contributions women have made in this world. I think our ladies and women deserve a clap for their contribution. I'm a man, but I imagine that to be a woman is not an easy thing. I don't know whether it is true or not. It is true? Okay, thank you. One of the very significant contributions women have made in this world, or will make in this world, is to give birth to human beings. Gentlemen who are here, I don't know how many of you have ever gone to the labor room to see what goes on there. Anyone who has risked like me? I want you to risk one time and go to see what it means to be in labor, and in that labor room to give birth. You'll appreciate that women, by their very nature, give a very big contribution to life. And that's one of the things that we celebrate. All of us who are men here, we contribute to bringing human beings out. But those human beings, including ourselves, we come out to this world through women. Women have so many contributions that we want to appreciate today as we say Happy Feast Day to all the women in this world. We will continue to talk about this day and continue to talk, but it is not the focus of our Sunday. The focus of our Sunday is the third Sunday of Lent and the message in it. If you've ever been very thirsty, to a point where you check all the pots, all the containers, and you find no water, you'll understand what the Israelites went through in the desert. I remember one time, it was dry season, I think around February, early March. We ran from school at lunchtime to go. You know, children like running. We ran, we reached home to find the pot was as dry as any container that had no water. And when I was a child, I used to be a little bit dramatic. I got so annoyed and kicked the pot, and the pot broke. Because I was so thirsty, I found there was no water. And you who are women, you can imagine the anger of a mother after the pot is broken. That was what I went through. Because of the thirst, I decided to break the pot, which was empty, yet my mom had gone to fetch water to come to pour in that pot. The Israelites had started their journey from Egypt, the journey of salvation from Egypt, to go to the promised land. Now, when they reached the desert, they faced so many challenges. The very first challenge was there was no food. God ordered manna from heaven, it came. After that, no water. And the Israelites were so annoyed with God. They forgot all the good things God did to them in the past. How they crossed the Red Sea, they never married. They never thought of it. How God gave them manna from heaven and quills, nothing. Now they're here complaining very bitterly to Moses that why did you bring us here in this desert where there's no water to die of thirst with our children and our cattle? And Moses told God, what am I going to do with these people of yours? You know, when you do something, but people always reject you. Moses now said to Israelis, what do I do with these people of yours who are complaining? They will kill me. The most beautiful part of this reading is the response of God. If God were like a human being, would have slapped each one of them before saying anything. Like a mother sometimes, you do something wrong, before asking why are you doing it, first the slap, isn't it? God would have done that. But God wanted to show to his people that he understood their weaknesses. He loved them, even though they were complaining. He told Moses, pick your rod with which you struck the Red Sea, take some elders, go to Mount Horeb, strike it so that water flows for these people. And that was what Moses did exactly. What a loving God. What an understanding God. That is what we celebrate today in this reading. A God who understands us, who knows our own weaknesses, but shows us love, shows us mercy, shows us compassion in our own weaknesses. He knew he had done a lot for the Israelites, but they forgot. They turned to complain very bitter. But the Lord, instead of quarreling, instead of punishment, he decided to give them compassion and love, mercy. Dear brothers and sisters, in one way or the other, sometimes we have been like the Israelites, or we are like the Israelites. We forget all those good things that the Lord does for us. All the blessings we forget. But when we are thrown into a challenge, we forget all the good things in the past. We complain. Each one of us here knows the story, the journey we have been walking from childhood up to now. How many moments of blessings have been there when you least expected? How many are those moments where you expected to have been punished, to have been probably dismissed from school, probably maybe for the marriage to end, and so on, and yet you survived, your marriage survived, you're still continuing with your studies, you were not caught, God covered you up, God covered your weaknesses. And today, you go through maybe a challenge of tuition, maybe a challenge of infidelity in marriage, or another challenge. And what do we tell God? Why did you give this woman to me? Isn't it? Why did you give this woman to me? Why? God, what have I done on this earth to be abandoned? The Lord is telling us, I understand your problem. I understand your complaint. Come to me. I am with you. I will never abandon you. We only need to put trust. And that's what St. Paul is telling us in the second reading, in his letter to the Romans, that we are justified by grace and by faith. None of us deserve the love of God. We have not, actually, we do not earn the love of God. But God has given us his love, free of charge, not because we have done anything wrong to him. We only need to put trust in him. In moments of difficulties, we only need to trust him. If he's able to love us just because we trust him, how much more can he do for us as we continue to trust him? One thing we always forget is that in our difficulties, the grace of God is always there with us. Think of that difficulty of being going through, I don't know for how many months. Just think of the moment you broke up last year, maybe. All that time you've been carrying this pain every day, up to today. Don't you think the hand of God is there through His grace to allow you carry this weight of rejection up to today? If that grace were not there, probably you have committed suicide. Maybe you have entered into depression, but you are still moving on. Very painfully, overnights, no sleep, but you're moving on. Where are you getting that power from? If it's not the grace of God. That's why St. Paul is telling us that grace is very important. Hold on to it. In moments of difficulties, use the grace of God when you're defeated, when I'm defeated. And Jesus, in the gospel, shows us how much He understands us more. We heard about this discourse between Jesus and the Samaritan woman who came to fetch water. Water is a very valuable asset in the desert. And Jesus, having walked and having gotten tired, very thirsty, goes to the well to get water and finds this lady, a Samaritan woman, who was also thirsty because she had come to fetch water. But this woman was not only carrying her thirst alone, but a burden of rejection, a burden of abandonment, a burden of shame, a burden of guilt for so many years. So, when she encounters Jesus, Jesus begins, give me water. I'm a Samaritan, how can I give you water? We even have nothing in common with Jews, and so Jesus now sits the conversation to let the lady know that I know you, I understand you better. If you were to know the person who is talking to you, you would actually ask for living water. When you drink this water, you will thirst again. But when you get the living water, you will not thirst again. And the woman, unknowingly, not understanding what is living water, he says, Sir, give me that water so that I don't come here again. And Jesus continues, now you go and call your husband. Come with your husband. You see where Jesus is leading this woman? To letting her know that I understand you, I know you. And the woman says, I have no husband. Say, yeah, you are right. Even the one with whom you are is not yours. Because you have had 5 husbands, they are no longer there. Even the one now you're having is not yours. The woman gets shocked. Who is this Jew who even understands me? Who knows what I've been doing all these years? And Jesus shows understanding in saying to this woman that you have truly said it, you have no husband. Even the one with whom you are now is not yours. Jesus shows this woman, I understand you. I know your story. But I'm not judging you. And Jesus never judged her.